Who is that? That's Gene and them. Them hoes was thieves. I wouldn't let not none of them over my house.
I hear everybody talking about this new Freaknik documentary that's going to highlight events that occurred during the 1994 Freaknik celebration that back in the 80s and 90s was held every spring in the city of Atlanta. And a lot of people are up in arms about it. And many people are looking forward to watching this documentary that's going to show a lot of interesting things about some of the things people were doing on both the men and women's side during Freaknik, at least in 1994. But if you know about Freaknik, you know that what happened in 94 pretty much happened pretty much every year after that, or some of that stuff before that. Now, me personally, I'm not interested in watching the documentary because I already watched a couple of documentaries about Freaknik. There's one currently on YouTube that certain Atlanta DJs and entrepreneurs who was around at that time actually highlight the highs and lows of what occurred during Freaknik back in that time. So I don't have a vested interest in watching this Hulu documentary because I already know some of the history behind it. I had uncles and older male members of my family that went to Freaknik during the 90s, and the things they told me when I became a young man, especially in the military, some of the things they told me, their experience at Freaknik, I saw that firsthand in the military. But my thing is, why is everybody getting so up in arms about what occurred 30, 40 years ago? When you look at social media and pretty much life in general today, man, social media ain't nothing but Freaknik 2.0. And when I say that, it's Freaknik 2.0 intensified. Meaning some of the nastiest, freakiest things your mom and them and some of the most perverted things your uncles and your daddies was doing during that time, man, people are doing that even worse now than what you can imagine they were doing back in the 90s. Why do I say social media is Freaknik 2.0? Let's look at how our people are being portrayed and how our people use social media. This is 2023. In 2020, we had the pandemic. And during the pandemic, you had an ascension or a burst of OnlyFans. Now, if you take one glance at the app, OnlyFans, you would think, well, you know, these are either celebrities or people of high influence. They subscribe to this app to get more of an interpersonal interactions with their fans or followers. But what we learned, many women that were starting up OnlyFans accounts, they were really bearing it all, showing it all, and doing the most unimaginable things on that app without having any physical contact with people. Some even were pretty much doing the same thing that porn stars do without no shame or guilt. The things that these women, and there are some men with these accounts too, but mainly women with many male supporters. And what you found out was these women were exploiting their sexual fantasies to the umpteenth power while simultaneously promoting themselves to men to financially invest in their accounts so that they can continue to provide more sexually explicit content. Now that's the 2.0 version, because remember, when these women were going down to Freaknik in Atlanta, they weren't going down there to get paid. If they did, we didn't hear about it. Nowadays on social media, women are looking to get paid full time for something that back in our mamas and grandmas' day, they wouldn't try to do that out in public, or at least have the reputation of being a public slur. Now let's talk about the guys. Y'all saw what happened during Freaknik, guys pulling out their camcorders, guys, you know, riding around with their whip, their sound system, picking up girls hanging out the windows. But we also saw the ugly side of Freaknik, where guys were gathering up in groups, grabbing females out their car, ripping their clothes off, and doing all kinds of heinous things to these women. And I'm going to say for the record, I didn't approve of none of that when I saw those documentary clips, and I would never approve of any man doing something hurtful, harmful to any woman. Any man that thinks that you can come on my platform and try to insinuate those type of activities, well, okay, you can bounce from my channel. There is nothing appropriate about men doing anything sexually aggressive to women that they personally didn't approve of. Snatching a woman out of her car and ripping her clothes apart, man, I'm not respecting that one bit whatsoever. And what are these guys in 2020s doing? For one, they got the phones out, they recorded everything, they buried it all, they showing it all. Then Austin Holliday get in trouble in Brazil for having his camera and asking these women all kinds of freaky things that they do, knowing damn well they didn't want to put that out there in the public. But everything is so intensified. We live in a sexually vulgated culture to where everything, for the most part, has to be about sex. It's not even sacred anymore. Women are showing off their bodies all the time. It's not sacred. You got men sending pics with women and stuff like that. That's totally okay. That's why I say social media is Freaknik 2.0. Everybody's looking to show off, bear it all, and to go viral by doing it. This constant need for attention, it has such a profound effect on a person's psyche that they would do the most ridiculous and disgusting things just to get attention for one, go viral for two, and to make themselves social media famous. The last time I checked, man, they weren't getting paid for money putting all that bullshit out on the internet, whether you male or female. So at the end of the day, why y'all getting on here talking about, well, we could see what these older people were doing back in the day? Man, what y'all doing the same shit the older people were doing 10 times more. And the reality is, this has been embedded into black culture. I don't care what anybody says, black people accept and embrace toxicity and debauchery in our culture. Don't believe me? Y'all will easily listen to some of the most sexually explicit lyrics and songs, dance to it, twerk to it, get right, grind on other females, grinding on other females, men all in groups and stuff like that, throwing gang signs and stuff like that, and then trying to get females to just shake their ass every which way. You're throwing money all on the slapping all over and stuff like that, and then trying to fuck. And we doing this all in the age of social media. But we claim we're the most intelligent generation God has ever produced. I don't think so. Just because you have modern technology that is more prevalent now than ever in human history does not make you supremely intelligent. Regardless of the technology that we possess, we're still acting like idiots. Collectively. We don't mind shaking. We don't mind showing off our ass. We don't mind selling sex for a buck. Whereas 30 years ago at Freaknik, they was doing that just to party. And I'm not saying that was the right thing to do neither. But let's not act like that because they were having celebrations and parties that don't exist today. Man, you go to your local house party, you're gonna see a lot of that. You go on OnlyFans, that's all you're gonna see. Every social media website, and the worst one of them all is Twitter. Man, go on Twitter right now. Go on some of these women pages. They got in their link tree all their little bios and shit like that. Man, you're gonna find every kind of pornographic image, videography. You're gonna see all of that stuff being plastered all throughout Twitter. And every other social media website as well. But and you want to know what this all culminates to? You can see it outside in regular real life. If I walk outside this building right now and go probably about a couple of blocks down the street, I'm gonna see somebody out there, you know what I'm saying, twerk. They gonna twerk. A couple of females gonna get together, gonna be gyrating on each other. And dudes gonna be recording and go on her to do some little strange for some change. And this is what this has all culminated into. Freaknik of the 80s and 90s is Freaknik in 2023 2.0 intensified. Meaning that it actually gotten worse as the years have gone by. The only difference is we don't have to make documentaries on it now, because we document it every day, whether you're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever. We show it every day. Go on your social media apps right now. I guarantee you by the time you get to the fifth social profile, you're seeing like some woman like this, bent down, or you're seeing some dude licked up, smoked up, trying to pass that off to a female. If you think online, don't do the research yourself. In conclusion, this is embedded into black culture. We don't want to admit it, but we're going to have to realize and come to accept the truth that we accept it because we like the toxicity. Why black people collectively love drama. And displaying yourself in such a vulgar manner under the disguise of sexual liberation absorbs you from responsibility. You don't want the responsibility of acting like a decent human being in the first place. Many of our people are guilty of that. I'm one of them. Man, I did some foul shit in my day. Not to say I'm proud of it, but do I regret it? No. That's the life I lived at one point in time. This Freaknik documentary, many of these older people, they don't want their past to be brought out. If you ask me, ABDULLAH, did you do some dumb shit when you was in the military? Yup, sure did, enjoyed it. That's the life I was living. See how easy it is for me to hold myself accountable? But today in 2023, people will shy away from any kind of type of responsibility for their actions and behaviors. Why? Because they want their actions and behaviors to not be condemned nor criticized. But you got children, but you married, but you got a decent family. And that's the type of culture we live in because in 2023, this ain't nothing but a pay-to-play culture. Freaknik 2.0 intensified. I'm out.
Girl, what you talking about? Bullshit. I had to tell that nigga. Look, nigga, I'm a hoochie. You ain't breaking no bread, I ain't breaking no coochie. I like Louis and Gucci. You want the key to his heart, I want the streets like Lucci. I need a thug like Boosie. Yeah, that nigga think he love me, but your ass ain't Gucci. I'm on their neck like Oopsie. Got these niggas twisted in the head like they la Lucy. Fuck nigga, break bread. If you can harm, you can hear how I said what I said. And after that, give me head. Send him home to his bitch, how he washed and he fed.